Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Patty G Show. I am here and joined this week by Michael Scarborough. He has just a phenomenal story. We've got 3 businesses that he's actively working in that we go into the deep weeds of each and really learn about his upbringing and also what kind of stellar kids he's got. I mean, this guy's knocking it out of the park. Great episode upcoming your way. Before we do so, give a big, wonderful thank you to the partners of the show, Falia Real Estate, Lake Men's Health Center, and JRE Capital. Without further ado, enjoy the show. Yes. So your 18-month probably doesn't do it, but do your older ones, you'll have an Alexa? You're on an Alexa household?
For sure.
So my 3-year-old, he has started being like, Alexa, play Paw Patrol. Or Alexa. The best is like, Alexa, play Mr. Grinch. Sorry, cannot find the Grinch playlist for you. And I'm like, this is bad. like this is so bad.
Yeah, mine's in that mocking you stage. Anything you say, she wants to repeat. So I get in trouble with that sometimes. But Alexa side, our TV, we got a Samsung frame. And I don't know what the deal is, but the remotes go out on those things all the time. I think we're on like 3rd or 4th remote in a couple of years.
The remote goes out?
Yeah, it'll just, random buttons will stop working. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with it, but it's got an Alexa button on it. So you can talk to it and say, Alexa, turn the volume down 3. And so I'll do that and I try to whisper because I know if she hears me, she's going to be hollering Alexa.
Right.
And so I do that and she'll be, Alexa, Alexa. And then all the Alexas in the house start going and lighting up. I'm like, oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah. For like a few months, it looked like that old like SNL commercial where it was like the old people like Allegra. Yeah. Allegra. Or it was like Denise. Like, find my grandson Nathan. It's like, your grandson Nathan doesn't exist. That was my boy. He was like, Alexa, in like his little toddler tone, and like she just got nothing of it. Or she was like, I don't understand. I'm like, yes. But now he's reached the age where he can articulate well enough and she can respond and start playing things. I'm like, okay, we need to let him know that he can only play music with this.
Absolutely.
And not buy stuff.
Absolutely.
Because as soon as he does, it'll be
off
the wall.
Haven't figured out that they can buy stuff on there yet. So I'm hoping to keep that going as long as possible.
That's like,
but they're very specific with Alexa. They ask her very important, very specific, very well worded questions. But to my knowledge, they haven't figured out how to buy things on there. But I could be wrong.
Just we'll cut this bit out, so they don't hear anything about how to, like, Alexa, buy me a purse. Yeah, it's a great technology.
It is,
but it just now puts you in a position as a parent where it's another thing to worry about. It's another component of the household that you weren't planning for.
No, not at all.
I'm sure when you first started having kids, you're not like, okay, I got to protect them from all this stuff, and now it's like, I got to stop them from just buying stuff with their voice.
Absolutely. Or not even just buying things, but the access you have with Alexa is insane. Each one of them have the Alexa show. It's like a little screen in their room.
Yeah.
So they can watch YouTube videos on there, music videos. It doesn't matter, whatever they want. It's there. I think my little boy can watch football games on it. It's like a little miniature TV.
So you can watch yourself now.
What do you mean?
From this. You have Spotify?
Yeah.
You put on your Spotify, and you have Alexa play the episode, and now you can watch yourself. You can have your kids watch yourself.
I probably won't do that. My wife's going to watch it. She'll turn it on, but I will not be part of that.
Oh, come on now. You got to like put yourself on the TV, on the frame screen, just like play in the background.
Yeah, she'll do it. It'll
be your kids would be like, Mom, is that Dad? What's he doing up there?
My little boy does that. The last podcast I was on is on Spotify, and it's not a video podcast, but he loves the fact that his dad's on Spotify now. So yeah,
tell him he's got to go. Hey, go give me a review. Go give that episode a review.
He's very, very honest. So it probably wouldn't be a great review. You never know.
Dad didn't talk about me enough on this. Dad wasn't doing anything, to really showcase his kids enough. So
I did mention him. I told him that I mentioned him. He listened to it.
There you go.
But he's like extremely intelligent. He's 12. He built his first custom gaming computer at 10 all by himself from YouTube. Raised the money himself, hard worker, good work ethic, went out. I don't give him any money. He doesn't come to me and say, Dad, I need $20 because I need this or that. He's like, Dad, I want to upgrade the RAM or the processor on my computer. Here's some ideas I have to go make money. I want to go clean windows, or I'm going to go weed flower beds. Now, he's not always the best gauge of how much to charge somebody for what he's doing. So he's gotten to the point where he'll call me now and be like, Dad, what do you think about this? Like, what should I charge these people? Because he's called me before. Hey, I'm down here at the neighbor's house. I'm cutting their grass, and he had a push mower, not one of the ones that pulls itself along, just a regular push mower. This was a good acre lot. He decided to tackle for $30. Oh. He's like, I've already went through 4 tanks of gas. I've been out here for an hour and a half. Like, dude, I'm like, this is one of those hard lessons you got to learn on making sure you charge for the service that you're doing. And he has ever since. But man, I think he made like $600 or so to build his first computer, and it wasn't fast enough for him. So now he's been adding things and doing different things. It's gibberish to me. That's way beyond my mental capacity. I don't understand the computer stuff that well, but man, he's got it. It's impressive.
I mean, just the entrepreneurship in him, like, right out the gate, is like, no, I got this.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So now does he call you on the front end? Like, all right, Dad, it's an acre lot. Okay. Last time I used 5 tanks of gas. That was about 4.5 gallons worth of fuel. I think the average going rate, according to my app, is about, $4.50 per gallon. So I'm factoring in, like, just get all more technical now.
Math too. Yeah, he is. He'll have it all laid out, and he knows exactly what to do now. He's got it. He had a lemonade stand one time at the end of the street, and I think he made like $112, and his sister helped, and she negotiated a portion. She wanted $2. And so he agreed to it, and they made 112. He gave her 2. She's like, hey, dude, you made 112. He's like, hey, you only asked for $2. And so I was like, hey, it's part of the negotiation. He's like, yeah, it worked out good for me. I was like, golly, dude.
So is he the older brother?
He's the older brother, yeah. He's 12, she's 10. And I was like, man.
Yeah, so now she's like, okay.
She learned a hard lesson.
Yeah. Now I called Dad. All right, Dad, he's offering me $4.
Yeah, what do I do?
What do I do? What should I go back with him? I was thinking 12.
Yeah, so they went through that. That was they argued about that and went back and forth for a while. But she understands now. She made her bed. She had to lie in it. So she learned a hard lesson.
Yeah, you learn the hard lessons along the way, man.
But he saves his money. She burns through it. She is...
$2 doesn't go as far as it used to.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't remember where we were. We were somewhere yesterday, and she's like, Dad, main event for a birthday party. She's like, I've got my own money. Can I buy an icy? I'm like, yeah, if you want to spend your money on that, cool. She's like, well, there's some games I want to play that my card for the party won't let me play because I earn points or whatever for it. I was like, okay. She's like, so I'm going to go buy a card so I can try to get some toys out of the gift shop. I'm like, it's your money, whatever you want to spend on it. If you want to spend it all, do it. So she does not know how to hold on to it. So I got to watch her.
You got to teach her the divvy up of the dollar rule. Yeah. Got to have so much % going somewhere.
That's right.
Because right now it's all just going in the hand, and you're
it's
running
going wherever she wants it to go right now.
Right. So I mean, but clearly they've got some type of awareness watching you do what you do every day. So what is it that you do every day that they're like watching and like, okay, because that's not I wouldn't say in a normal household the kids are like trying to go and do work and they're trying to figure out their own way to do things. So clearly whatever it is you do during your day has like impacted them in a way where they're like, oh no, like this dad does this, like we got to do it.
I think for a while they were probably a little confused on what I did because I'm just always on the phone or always doing something, always going somewhere, always have a meeting to go to. And it's crazy hours. So like with the PPE and safety supply company, we've got people that work in China full time. So our hours are completely opposite. So as the day is winding down from the construction company here and the sales that we do here, and then Greenheart here, and the night starting to go, dinner time with the family and all that stuff. After that, the night starts and the day starts for China. So they see that struggle at times. They see that piece that I'm doing there. So I think it kind of instills something in them, not necessarily that they need to work all the time or that they always need to field a phone call,
right?
But the fact that if you want it bad enough, then you could go get it.
Yeah, so, you can figure it out.
Yeah. So I think they see that, and that's a good thing. They have no idea any of the financial stuff, any of it. They don't ask. They don't care. They're clueless as far as that goes. But yeah, I think just watching it, and I involve them in it. I bring them to the companies, and my little boy will go work in the kitchen and stuff at Greenheart, and he loves it. It's got some cool little processes in there, some cool tech that we use, so that gets him excited. So he likes that.
So what kind of a salary starting out did he negotiate with you?
He didn't. But he does drive a hard bargain. So the first time he worked in there, he didn't make anything. He just worked for an hour or two. After that, he was charging me. So he's $20 to come in and work for a couple hours.
He was sending you an invoice?
Yeah, he's tough, man.
So then you obviously flipped back around and sent him a 1099 at the end of the year.
Yeah. He's
said, all right, man, you gotta pay taxes.
Look,
on
you're
this
so
now.
smart. Figure out how to do your taxes.
Yeah. File your tax return.
I'll give you the tax lady's number. Call her. She'll walk you through it.
Yep. Here's the 1099 NEC. You figure it out.
That's right. Yeah, you got this. Get ready.
Yeah. So you mentioned 3 different entities there. So let's start with the oldest one. Which one came first?
Greenheart.
Okay.
Well, going back before that.
Yep.
I had a seafood restaurant in Marpaw. It was kind of I've always had companies since I was 18. Nothing major, just side hustle type stuff.
What was your first company at 18?
First company was HydroPros Pressure Washing.
HydroPros. Okay.
Yep. Me and a old friend from high school opened it up. His name's Jake West. We opened it. And we thought we were going to be kings of the world with the pressure washing company. And we did okay. We did a lot of jobs. We stayed busy, but we didn't have a lot of money. So we had like the rigid name brand pressure washers from Home Depot. We'd load up and we'd work all weekend, every weekend, and make our money and do that. And it got to a point to where it just wasn't quite cutting it. We needed to do something a little different. So that one kind of went away. And then went into corporate America and found my way with a big soft craft company out of Baton Rouge, Excel Modular Scaffold. And started their installation side, coatings, fireproofing, lead, asbestos, and traveled the country for them for almost 8 years. And got really good at dealing with people, dealing with problems, dealing with situations. And it kind of molded me into the leader that I am and being able to help people in their lives. Had a lot of people that worked for me, thousands of people at times, hundreds at a time on different job sites. And just being able to go in and get in front of those people. And growing up, I was not somebody that wanted to talk to people. I did not enjoy getting in front of people. It wasn't for me. I don't think I talked to a girlfriend until I was in 8th grade. Like, if you want to talk, let's pass a note. Don't come talk to me. This is not what you think it is.
You're the note passer in class.
Yeah, don't come talk to me. This is Christmas time's coming. You got a present for me? Cool. My sister will meet you. She'll give it to you.
No.
Yeah, don't talk to me.
You would have your sister go get Christmas presents from girls for you?
Uh-huh. Yep. I was terrified. I did not know how to have those conversations. It wasn't for me. And then as I got older, I got better at it, obviously. But no, that getting in front of those guys and kind of talking and being a face for them and a focal point, I always considered myself like a corporate type of guy for the people. And I think they felt that. And it always resonated well with the guys on site and the girls on site. And I always formed really good bonds and good relationships with them. So it helped me along in my career. I didn't just go in as, oh, I'm this corporate guy. You're going to listen to what I say. And that's the way. I genuinely listen to people and I care about what they're going through. And if I can help them in any type of way to make their circumstances better, then that's what I did. So I got to a point to where being in the industrial side was kind of eating at me. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was good at it. Spent a lot of time with it. It was pretty much all I knew, but I've always wanted to go out on my own. So I had an opportunity to go be a COO and part owner of a robotics hydroblasting company out of Homa. And it sounds very
how does that just
piece,
like
but
appear?
It was a guy that worked for me.
Okay.
We did some business together.
Like that's not something like off the
no.
Hydroblasting robotics company. Let me go ahead and pick that one off the shelf here and let's go ahead and check this out. Let's go ahead and check this out at the grocery store. That's not something you hear every day.
No, it's not. And the owner, Randy, he's a wonderful guy. He did some work for me and stuff through the Shell chemical system. Out in Gosmer, and we hit it off really well, became good friends. He came to me, he wanted me to come help grow his business. So we did, we grew it. I stayed with him for a year, but still I was still in the industrial side and it was still eating at me. And now I'm even further. I'm in Homa and going back and forth. And near the end of that tenure there, my sister came to me and was like, hey, let's open a little seafood shop, a market. We'll sell some seafood, crawfish, whatever. We've got the connections. I was like, cool, let's do it. Started looking for spots, couldn't really find anything. And then
you said you had What do you mean you have connections?
Connections on crawfish, like to get seafood from the boat and stuff, straight from the ponds.
All right, walk me through that, because I'm hearing like robotics, I'm hearing industrial sector, but now all of a sudden crawfish just pops up in here.
Pop in.
You just know crawfish farmers,
Yeah.
Grew up with them or something. Like how does how does a seafood connection enough to open a restaurant just happen?
That's a great question. I don't know that I have that answer. I have friends whose family has ponds and stuff, and they get it directly from the boat right there. So that was an easy thing for me. And my sister had a connection with a guy who I believe is a physician, full time, part time, sells crawfish. I don't know. I can't make that up. I don't know how that works.
All right. Okay.
So he was also a good piece for us. Well, long story short, we couldn't find a small enough space, couldn't find a good spot. So my realtor was like, hey, I got this really big spot. It's like 5,500, 6,000 square feet, huge kitchen. You could open a restaurant. Okay, let's look at it. So went and looked at it, and it was in Marple off Highway 22, and pulled the trigger on it. 3 months later, we've renovated this place, and we're ready to open for business.
Wow.
And this is right as COVID's hitting. So
perfect timing.
Went into the restaurant business, huge bar side, huge venue side, like stage and everything, right as COVID's hitting. So it was a little slippery there.
Yeah.
Opened up, and Marpaw there, it's a big dance community. They love to two-step. They love the music. They love seafood, and it's a great spot to be. Love the people over there. But we got to a point where we were 35, 40 employees, back of house manager, front of house manager. It's hard to navigate that piece. I didn't have a ton of knowledge in the restaurant industry at all. When I was in high school, I used to work at a Mexican restaurant. So that was really my extent of restaurants and bars. So we tackled that, went down that road for close to a year. We signed a 1-year lease, decided not to renew the lease, ended up selling pretty much everything of it to a restaurant group out of Covington.
Okay.
Sold that piece. While we had that, Greenheart came about. My wife introduced me to it. We were driving to Baton Rouge and buying them at the one on Perkins.
So what's Greenheart?
Greenheart is my healthy food company. Healthy, fresh prepared meals. You walk in, it's merchandise coolers. The meals are all in there, and there are certain prices, $7.75, $6.75 for 5 or more. And on Saturdays, it's $5.75 for all the meals.
Okay.
So we would go every Saturday because at the time they were $5 a piece, inflation. But so I told her, I was like, look, I'm tired of making this drive. I'm going to find out who owns this. I want to partner in it and maybe open our own. And,
right, because that's what a normal person would do.
Yeah.
You know,
she didn't bat an eye.
I'm tired of driving. Let me just buy the business, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, all right.
Exactly. You know, the normal thought.
Yeah,
So-
that's the inception thing, right?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I felt, I didn't want to book out the whole first class, so I bought the airline. It seemed cleaner.
Yeah,
you know?
it's easier. You don't have anybody sitting next to you.
Right. You just buy the whole airline. For you just go out and say, hey, I don't want to make the drive. Can I just buy your business or something? Okay.
Let me in here. This is me now.
Got it. Right. Okay.
So I found out who it was, reached out to him, and a few months later we had opened a store in Prairieville. It was just a storefront type. The kitchen was in Scott. We were cooking meals there, sending them to Prairieville, and it did really well. It took off, grew really fast. So I reached out to him. I was like, look, it doesn't make sense to keep doing it like this. Let's partner on the whole thing. Moved the whole operation to Gonzales, and that's what we did. So we opened up a almost 7,000 square foot production facility.
Wow.
Huge commissary kitchen that we have, huge walk-in coolers. You walk in, we have coolers bigger than this room. It's pretty cool to see. So we did that, and as of last year, we just finished doing the process to start franchising to be able to sell franchises. But we're on the fence on if we truly want to go the franchise route or if we want to own the different stores. So we obviously have a lot of capacity in that kitchen there. So the goal for this year is to try to open 3 to 6 more locations in the Baton Rouge market and see where that goes for us.
So what made you want to go down the franchising route?
It seemed like a way to get the name out there quick.
Okay.
Yeah. So for us looking at it, we have great notoriety. A lot of people in Louisiana, especially the Baton Rouge area, Lafayette area, they know Greenheart when you mention it. They've tried the meals. A lot of doctors refer their patients to us. We've had some really cool success stories. That's one of my favorite parts of it. So just for example, we had one lady who ate our meals for almost a year. She lost almost 100 pounds.
What?
She came in and she was every Saturday. She was there, very loyal, very just awesome person. I mean, she's awesome. 100 pounds. So many people came in. Hey, my doctor referred me here. We've been able to get off of this medicine. Just awesome testimonials, awesome stories. So I love that piece about it.
So what makes it so different, I guess? Like what's kind of driving
more of a portion controlled type of thing. So
Okay.
it's portion controlled. It's healthy. It's got different options. So whatever your diet might be, whether it's paleo or keto, or if you don't necessarily have a specific diet and you want to venture down different foods, we've got foods that aren't necessarily the healthiest. We've got like enchilada meals and quesadillas and stuff, but you can get everything from breakfast to dinner. It has everything. So it kind of is a one-stop shop for any need that you might have. So that's one cool piece about it. And they're super quick and easy. Pop in the microwave for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and it's ready to go.
Got it.
Really popular with college kids and the dorms and stuff. I mean, it's a no-brainer for them. Guys on turnarounds in the plants, they come in, stock up. Yeah, so it works out great for them.
I mean, if you're paying, $5.75 on Saturdays for a meal, like you can't hardly beat that.
And we're talking steak and shrimp and fish and chicken. I mean, you're getting good quality meats.
Yeah.
And I haven't found anything that's can compete with that price.
So y'all are just able to purchase everything in such high volumes, and that's how you're able to get the discounts across the board. That's incredible.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a cool process. I mean, the whole concept is really cool. It's a kind of a niche type of business. So I think it's going to take off. I mean, it's going on 9 years now. So hasn't just been here. It's been here a long time. 20,000 followers on social media. We've had some influencer type people at certain points come in and get involved a little bit to kind of spread it some. But the franchise piece, we went that route because we thought immediate notoriety, get it out there, get some people excited about it in different areas, different demographics. So it's still on the table. We haven't taken it off yet, but we're on the fence.
Have y'all had people approach you about franchising?
So much. But
Really?
So before we did the franchise process, it was every week somebody was calling in wanting to talk about franchising, and I didn't realize it was such a big process to franchising. It was very foreign to me.
It's an ordeal.
Trademarking, licensing, there's attorneys involved for every state. I mean, it's a lot. So that was a almost 11-month process of getting that done.
So y'all have already invested everything. You've got all the
money spent,
all the documents and everything. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, everything's there. We've got a sales group that's doing it on a small scale. They're not pushing super hard. I wish they would push a little bit harder, I guess, but not pushing super hard. But we probably get 25, 30, some months, 50 inquiries on it.
And so you've just turned them all down since?
We haven't turned them down. We've had some that are kind of getting to that next phase and talking about it, but nobody's quite pulled the trigger yet just because it would be the first one. So it's a little leery there, but I think once that first one goes, if that's the route that we decide to take, then the next will follow.
Yeah. I mean, franchising, to your point, is great from getting the initial locations out there, and you've got other people deploying their capital, but then you always have that concern of, are they going to do it the same way that you want to do it?
That's our biggest holdup on it, because it's a lot of the sauces we make, a lot of the seasonings we make, the recipes are ours. So to get somebody, we know what it takes to make it, and it is a process. To get somebody to go in that genuinely cares enough to do that same quality with that same passion, I think most restaurants that franchise or even have multiple locations can relate to that. So that's kind of a big holdup there. We don't want to put out a inferior product, and
right,
because Baton Rouge and the surrounding communities are a small community, small but large. So put a good product out, you get good response. Put a bad product out, you get bad response, and it could kill it real quick.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie The Founder?
Yes. McDonald's. Love it. I think I've seen it 2 or 3 times.
Oh, it's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
But like he goes into all that, and like it's what they kind of show throughout it is so true. Like, he shows up to the golf course with the sandwich, and he's like, "You're not using the right lettuce, this and that." And
that's exactly right.
That's the worry of franchising, is you get people that have money that want to just get into something fun that they see it could make them a big buck.
Yep.
But then they don't take the time to do the passion that you have in it and really drive that location is the risk.
I agree. Unless you get an owner operator that's coming in, you got somebody that's been working for corporate America forever. They want to come in, they want to do something completely different. Cool. Right. You get a little bit more passion, a little bit more care out of that, but it takes a special breed of person to want to be in a kitchen every day and do that. That's a lot. It is not, I'll be the first to tell you, it's not for me. I can't sit in a kitchen as much as I can't sit in front of a computer all day and plug away on a computer. I'm just not built for it. I've got to always be doing something a little bit different, something exciting, something new, or I'll get bored after a little while. It'll eat at me.
Yeah, which, I mean, it makes sense. You've got, not just that one business. You've got, 2 others that are doing phenomenal work in the construction space.
Yeah.
So do you have enough capacity to kind of handle more restaurants in your commissary?
Oh, for sure. So right now we dropped down to just 3 locations.
Okay.
I think our commissary kitchen could hold up to 12.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big.
4X of what you're doing now.
And truthfully, if we get that flow down right in the kitchen and we do that, it's a quick process to get in there too, because it's just storefronts at that point. You don't have to build out a kitchen. It's just merchandising coolers, doing a little build out and small space, 1,000 square feet, and it's ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you don't even need franchisees.
Absolutely.
You just need dirt.
And I've had people come to us, hey, how about you cook the meals and we'll open the storefront? I'm like, no, that's the easy piece.
yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. So if we do that, we'll own the store.
Yeah.
Thank you to our wonderful sponsor, Lake Men's Health Center with Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group. Guys, I know it's tough to get out and go to the doctor. I know it's challenging to find time in our busy days, but I promise you, signing up to be a part of this group with Dr. Curtis Chastain and Dr. Tyler Boudreau, you won't regret it for several reasons, but most of those being the fact of the time it saves, where you're able to get in on the same day, get that appointment done, and spend that time you need to talk with them about what your health goals and concerns are, as well as ensuring that the financial investments you have, you will be able to live out and see those come to fruition. So if you're an investing guy, you know all about and planning for the future and investing in the future. There's no other more important thing to invest in than your health. Make sure you go check them out. Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group Men's Health Center, and tell them Patty G sent you.
Yeah, you'll just add the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th store, you know?
Yep. So I would be looking through Baton Rouge this year. You'll see us pop up all over the place.
I love so like y'all's actual storefronts,
Yep.
Or is there a model where you're in different retailers as an offering?
It's a little bit different. So we are an FDA kitchen, but it's a different type of standard you have to be able to sell to a grocery store or sell to a market like that.
Okay.
We don't carry that. That would be like a USDA stamp to be in there. That's a full-time person in your kitchen all the time. You can only cook and make meals while that person's in the kitchen.
Got it.
So for us, it's just a little easier to be able to control our own destiny on that. The only place really that I can think of that you could see our meals right now outside of one of our stores would be LaBerge.
Okay.
So we sell to LaBerge. As soon as you come down the escalator, the little cooler area right there by the restaurants, it's in there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How'd you land that gig?
I don't know. They came to us, and we get a lot of them like that come to us. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like to have LaBerge, I mean, the name that they are, to find you.
Yeah, agreed.
And say, hey, we want to have you in our entertainment venue.
Yeah. No, we were excited about it. That's a cool one. Doesn't move a ton of meals, but just like you said, the fact of
it's a name
somebody
recognition,
major like that coming to you. We do a lot of stuff though. Every year for Thanksgiving, we partner with the Saints and some other players in the NFL. We've done it with Devin White, Chris Olave. Do a little Thanksgiving or Christmas give back to the community down there. And then another cool thing that we do is all of our meals are dated. So all of our meals are fresh, but all of them are dated. So when they get close to that date or hit that date, they go in a deep freezer in the back, and we work with the local food pantries and the food banks and throughout Ascension and donate the meals to them. So we usually donate 3,000 to 5,000 meals a year to the food banks and food pantries. So that's something that's really cool. That's near and dear to the heart on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you're able to have a direct impact in your community with folks in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
You know, like feeding somebody's just that's the easy return on investment, right?
Absolutely.
There.
Yeah.
You know, being able to see them get a good warm meal, they're like, all right, nourish that person today.
Yeah.
Feel good. Let me like see what else I can do.
Absolutely.
So on a hard like 180 pivot to a totally different industry, you've got two different companies that kind of are related to one another.
Yes.
So what are those?
United Supply. Both of them are United Supply companies.
Okay.
We kind of named it that way we could not be trapped on just one piece. Initially, it was grown from the PPE side, safety supplies. And I'm partnered in that one as well with a buddy of mine, Anthony Fosdick. He's like a brother to me almost. He's probably my closest friend. And that one kind of just grew out of nowhere. I called him one day. I'm like, hey, you're still working in the plants. I've got these other companies going on. I want to get into business with you. We've always talked about it. What can we do? And he was like, safety supplies, PPE. We know it. Everybody needs it. So let's take a look at it. So we did. And the cool thing is we didn't just go in to become a distributor. We went in to actually create our own product.
Okay.
So we spent the first 6 months of the company being open, just creating, designing, testing products. We found our people overseas that produce, and it's been a whirlwind since. It's really cool. So we've got our own custom gloves, safety glasses, cut sleeves, tethers, you name it. We've got it. Earplugs, disposable suits. We've got all kind of stuff.
So y'all were just like, let's call a designer or bring a designer in house and figure out how to make it better. Oh, you designed it.
Yeah. So I designed it.
Okay.
I worked with a guy. I created everything, all the logos, all the designs, everything. Worked with him. Took us about 6 months to get all the designs approved and done. And then we went into testing on everything because with that, there's very strict standards and testing on it. And we're constantly modifying and adapting. So I think personally, we have some of the best gloves on the market. We've got some really big competitors out there, Magid Glove, GWP out of New Orleans. They're a big wholesaler. They do something that's very similar to us. And one difference between us and them is they typically only sell to distributors from wholesale side. We do both. So we've got contracts with people all over the country on the distribution side. We sell wholesale to them. And then we've got certain relationships where we sell direct as well. We don't go out and openly market on the direct side because it's kind of counterintuitive to what we're doing. But
right.
Yeah, it's grown tremendously. It's doubled every year. And it's really poised to have a really big year this year. So we're excited at it. I mean, he was able to get out of the plants and come in and do that full time now. And he's happy as can be. He's got a little girl as well. So he's spending a lot of time with her. He's got a hunting camp in Mississippi and spends time up there and spends time in Grand Isle and gets to be a dad and not be trapped in the plant. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Well, especially in like the PPE world, that's so hard to differentiate between the products already out there.
Right.
Like generally you've either got a situation where you're working for a small contractor and the employees are going to go out and find what they like, just try it on the store. They're gonna actually shop.
That. You get preferential stuff. People have certain brands or something that they love, and you can't compete with that. I mean, it's different.
We won't even talk about the Red brand. The Red brand just it's almost it's not almost, it's a cult. It's like my brother is hooked on that. And the other day he came over for something and he had a coffee cup and then he's got like a bag and then he's got like a shirt and he's got a ball. I'm like, this isn't even construction
what are you doing?
Equipment at this point. Like, this isn't even tools. Like, what are you doing over here? I'm like, you got a pencil? He's like, yeah, I got a pencil. Like, what are you, a pencil, a pen, you know? Like, I'm just like, dude, like what is it's everything is just once they get hooked on that brand.
Yep, they're all about it.
They're all about it. And like you cannot find another tool on his truck. And so like he's a master plumber. The dude's got a lot of tools.
Yeah,
and like everything is the Red brand. I'm like,
it's weird. You get people like that. They love it. They're loyal to it. And hey, I'm not mad at it. I want you to be loyal to my brand too.
Of course,
so
of course.
If you come across a product that you love that I have, I'll give you all the swag you want if you'll rep it. I'm here for it. So I can't be too mad at that. But yeah, I mean, to go from really nothing, not being anything, to being able to compete with some of these really large companies has been really cool.
So, I mean, how do you get something like that off the ground and into the hands of people in the plants? I mean, because so my family they own an industrial plumbing company, an industrial landscaping grounds management company, basically for plants. And I know the process for them to do certain things and to get in the plant in the first place is super strenuous. And it's so many, just all the paperwork that has to go into that, all the testing, all the regulations and licensing, everything that goes into it. I mean, the best phrase in plants is hurry up and wait.
Yep.
Right?
That's exactly right.
So like, how do you as a product company get into those plants?
Easiest way for us was through distribution.
Okay.
So being in the situation that I was in with Excel and him being in the situation that he was in, we had a tremendous amount of contacts. So we started calling. The cool thing about the growth that we've had and how fast we've got there is we do zero cold calling. We don't go door knocking. We haven't even scratched the surface of that yet. And we were talking about it the other day. It's kind of funny. We've done all this based on just relationships that we had in the past, or a new relationship that formed from a relationship that we had in the past. And the sky's the limit, really. I mean, we could start bringing in sales teams, which we don't have yet, bring in sales teams and start cold calling. I mean, there's 1,000 contractors in every area that we could call. Even if they're small contracts, they might have 10, 15, 20 guys, but still, that makes me happy. I want to service you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't always need to be whale hunting. I mean, I can service those small guys. And I think that's what differentiates us from those other guys is they want the big guys. They're going after the Turners, the Performances, those big companies. And I'm happy to take the scraps and come up through that piece and get that brand recognition out there too. Because the more people have our products in the field, the more people know it. So that's what we're excited about. There's so much opportunity there. It is a flooded market. I mean, it's tremendously flooded. There's a distributor on every corner. So, I mean, it is flooded, but we feel like we're in a good position to kind of separate ourselves from that a little bit.
Well, and like with the smaller contractors too, you've got more of a likelihood for brand loyalty.
Yep.
than the Turner walking to supply truck and he's just grabbing whatever's there.
Yeah.
Right? They're not really familiar with
they
what
don't care.
products you're doing. They're like, great, we got new hard hats. Awesome. Great. We got new earplugs, new glasses, whatever. They're just getting a bag of stuff saying, hey, this is your new PPE. Whereas the small guys are like, what did, like, the way that earplug fit, like, it fit way better than the other ones we've been using. Can we get more of those, please? Like, then they have more input as employees on the smaller scale than the guys at the big, whales do. They're just saying, oh, great. All right, we got to wear this now. Whatever. No big deal.
Whatever saves them a little bit of money on their bottom end, because at the end of the day, it's a consumable product. They don't make money on it. So they have to have it. They've got to spend that money. So if they can save 1%, that's 1% on the bottom line.
Oh,
and I get it. I understand. I mean, I'm a supporter of it.
Yeah.
But no, we've got some. I think one thing that differentiates us is our customer service. We have, if somebody needs something locally, if somebody needs something nationwide, we will rush it to you immediately. We will jump in the truck. We'll throw it. We'll do whatever. We'll go find it. It doesn't matter. We'll get it to you.
So how do you work the logistics on that piece if you've got somebody in, a small town in South Dakota?
Funny you said South Dakota. So I actually ship a lot to
like
North Dakota.
Gregory, South Dakota, Gregory.
I ship a lot to Bismarck, North Dakota.
Okay.
So one of our groups that we deal with has an office in Bismarck. So we ship a lot up there. So North Dakota is very familiar to me. But we ship. So we use UPS, we use freights, we use small truckloads. I mean, whatever we have to do, the fastest way to get it there, we will. It doesn't matter to us if we've got to lose a little bit of money on shipping, if we can get it to you quick and get you moving, because at the end of the day, you need the product.
Right.
And safety supplies aren't the number one thing on everybody's radar in construction. Getting the job done is. So usually when they need something, they need it right now. And they're in a remote part of the country where there isn't anybody around them. So that's a piece that we've got to navigate. And we've got some really good connections on the logistics side, and we're making more every day. That's actually something that we're looking at doing, is starting our own logistics piece to be able to do it, because it's not going anywhere.
Right.
The logistics side of things are a little tricky right now, just because trucking is a little tricky right now, the pricing and stuff, and it's fluctuating a lot. So we're watching it, but it's definitely something that's on our radar, because it would be a good value add to what we're doing now.
Yeah. Essentially, you become from mineral to customer every step of the way. You're now making your own products, you're shipping your own products, and you're delivering your own products, and like your own trucks. Like that. At that point, you're the entire sales cycle.
We control the whole process.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how does one go to finding a manufacturer across seas?
So I got very fortunate on that. I met this guy. His name's Isaac. He lives in China, and he's been there for 25 years. And he's my eyes and ears over there. I actually have not been to China yet. It's on the agenda this year to go spend some time over there with some of our manufacturers. But he is our quality guy. He runs everything right now. So January 28th is Chinese New Year. Okay. So what people don't realize is all of the products that come out of China, regardless of ours or anybody else's, a tremendous amount of things come out of there, obviously. That all shuts down. So when they go on holiday for Chinese New Year, it's a black hole. Everything shuts down.
How long did it shut down for?
So they shut down on the 19th of this month, and the earliest that I've had any of my manufacturers commit to opening back up to me is on the 8th. Yeah.
So starting,
typically it's a month. You're down a month.
What?
So it is the beginning of the year is like all hands on deck, get everything ordered, get it all on the books, get it going as fast as we can to try to get it in before Chinese New Year hits.
So a 12th of the year,
yes,
they're just not.
And the crazy thing is I feel like they're always on holiday. I'm jealous. I'm like, man, I call him like, hey, I can't get anybody. What's going on? He's like, oh, they're on holiday. We're on holiday for this. We're on holiday for that. And they shut down over there. Like we do holiday. I'm still answering my phone. We're still like today. I'm still answering the phone. We're still doing some business. Not them. They're done. They're radio silent.
So that piece has always been fascinating to me, the different ways that different countries will take holiday and actually live it out. Where it's like you've got some countries that are they're out of office, email goes out and say, hey, I'm going backpacking, I'll see you in 45 days.
But they give you a forwarded person here if you need something. Reach out to this person.
And then like I'm waiting for the day where I send an email to somebody overseas and I need something and I get 4 forwards.
You won't get
Where
anything.
No,
you get nothing.
No, automatically. Where it's like, hey, I'm on holiday. Reach out to this person, and then it pushes it to their inbox. Hey, I'm also on holiday.
With him.
Reach out to this person. Hey, and it's like then you get 5 people up. Then it gets to the last person. Hey, our company is no longer working for the next 60 days. We're on a company wide retreat.
Yeah,
call us back, and I'm like, this just. And then here, they have so much, comedic content made around this topic where it's like, okay, guys, I'm going in for open heart surgery. I'll be under anesthesia from the time of 11:15 to 11:27, and then when I wake up, I'll be able to answer calls again. It's that's what we, you know.
If you need me before, they might be able to wake me up. Just try.
Here's the doctor's pager.
Yeah. Page the doctor. Tell him you really need me. He'll come in and shake me.
Yeah, they'll wake me up and be able to handle the issue. But
I agree with you. They're so intent on their holiday, and I have no idea what holidays they are except for Chinese New Year. But it's always holiday. We're on holiday.
Yeah, I mean, holiday is vacation. We'll be like, oh, we're on vacation. They're like, I'm on holiday. And I'm like, this is just the more and more Bluey that I watch. The more and more I'm just like, this concept of holiday and like totally being unplugged. It's just fascinating.
Yes.
Welcome to the brand new Falaya mobile app. We took all the same tech that's helped hundreds of people sell their homes themselves and packed it into an easy-to-use app for your phone. When you download the Falaya mobile app on either the Apple or Android App Store, you'll immediately be able to see the power of this game-changing tool. From the seller's dashboard, you can navigate to all the information that you need. We intentionally separated everything into key groups, such as tasks to be completed, buyer leads for your listing, and contact information for everyone involved through closing. When you get an offer on your property, you can simply review and respond all within the app. No matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to monitor everything that's going on with your property from listed to sold. It's truly the power of Falaya in the palm of your hand. Download the app and see for yourself. Falaya, it's real estate reimagined.
So they'll tell you, hey, we're going on holiday. We're leaving this day. We're coming back this day. Do not even attempt to message them in between because you will get nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's radio silence.
So I'm curious about when they get back in their office, how do they work through all those emails, or do people just stop emailing them and they find somebody else to do it? Because I feel like if I'm gone for 48 hours,
it's a nightmare.
It's like I'm up to, your 2,000 unread emails. I'm just like, how I have to spend the next week catching up on emails and work, because it's not just an email asking a simple question. It's an email with like a laundry list of things that I've got to do.
That's just one.
It's just one. Right. And then it's like this, then the inbox just gets overwhelming at times. I'm like, how do you manage going away for 2 months and then coming back?
I don't know, but I would love to figure it out. I want to figure it out really bad.
When you do call me. Yeah. I need to know the ways.
I figured it out. Let's go. This is what we need to do.
Yeah, this is the way to do. They get back and they just do select all delete.
Yeah.
And then if it's really important, somebody will send them another email.
Thinking about what they have to go through when they get back stresses me out. And I'm not them.
That's why I don't leave. That's why I don't leave.
I can't do that. It's crazy to me. So that's why I try to get everything in and done before. That way I know I'm not in the queue. Mm-hmm. I'm not getting overlooked. Everything's already there. It's in production and then halting.
Yeah.
I try to get it done before, that way it gets shipped. Because even the ports, it all slows down. It doesn't shut down at the ports, but it slows down drastically.
Yeah.
They take it serious.
Yeah. You're like, no, we have to get our product on the boats out of the port by this day.
Yep. So end of the year, going into the new year, it's always, hey, we need to know what you're looking like at the beginning of next year. First quarter of next year, we need to know right now. Yeah. What are you anticipating? What are you looking like? Anything on the horizon? Let's get it done. Let's get it ordered. We need to get it shipping and on a boat coming this way.
So how long from a finished product to stateside does that typically take?
Depends on the product. So we have some things that are a lighter weight. We can air ship them. Okay. So they get here. It's usually about 7 to 9 days once it leaves there by air. By ship, we've got direct shipping lines. So our fastest boat is 23 days from there to here, which is quick.
Days?
Yeah.
That's quick?
It's quick.
Wow.
Some are 40, 45 days, which is not quick, especially in this game. So with this, the quantities that we order, it's usually, depending on the size, 2 weeks to a month of production to get it done. It's incredible the amount of stuff they can do over there and how fast they can do it. 2 weeks to a month to get it done. Then you got the QA side of it. They go in, make sure everything's right, everything's perfect. Then it gets packed. Then it goes to the port. Well, then it goes to the forwarder. We have a forwarder there as well. And then from there, it gets on a boat and comes.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a process.
That's just the manufacturing side. Like you look at it and you're like, okay, this koozie or this can and all the steps that it took to get there.
Yes.
It's just insane.
We don't think about it. We just grab the koozie and we're like, oh, cool. This has got a cool logo on it. Let's do this.
Yeah.
No clue how it's made or how many are made at one time. It's insane.
I think the sheer volume of consumables and even reusables to a degree, the volume that they're making those products in is just baffling.
Agreed. There was a show on Netflix not too long ago about plastics and the spending on Amazon and these different things. It is going to be a real problem. I mean, we're generating so much stuff on such a large scale at this point and so faster than we ever have in history. So yeah, that's something to look for in the future. Could be a real issue for us.
Yeah, and I think we'll see it in our lifetime.
Yeah.
We'll see the issue have to be addressed in our lifetime.
Agreed.
Because you have a situation that a bulk of the stuff that we return on Amazon.
That's right. Just
going into bins.
That's right.
And then people are now being able to buy these, return bins from Amazon, and they make videos
It's
and they
turned into a whole business on its
It's a whole business on itself, right? So it's like all this waste that Amazon was going to do. Now they're buying them back and they're reselling them. And there still is that whole piece of if you think about it, if you like open the package and you sent it back, not all of them on that scale are getting refolded and resealed.
That's right.
It's just not economical.
Yeah.
If you're buying a $60 shirt and it comes to you and it doesn't fit, you've already cut it out of the packaging and you may have left the tags on even.
Yeah.
It may end up being less expensive for them to just take it and scrap it and either donate it or throw it away altogether than to actually go back through the packaging process, putting it back with the paper all nice and
then
neat.
It costs some money again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they don't want to do that.
No, it's a whole lot more efficient and affordable for them to just take it and get rid of it. That's a
piece that people don't think about is the return side. And it's not just Amazon products, it's everything. I mean, it's used clothing, it's any kind of electronic device that you have. What happens to it? You've opened the box, you've sent it back. Some things, TV, computer, you can have an open box and sell it, but what happens to the rest of it?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen there's a big open box market on eBay, for example, where they're taking those products or Facebook Marketplace and now it gives people a good outlet. But no, for most of them, like if you've got guys getting a hard hat and they open it and it doesn't fit right, it's going in the dumpster. Like they're not even going to return it.
That's right. I can't resell it. I can't do anything with it after that. So I think it's becoming a real problem. And just that buy now button, the quick purchase option that you have, it's dangerous.
Yeah. Especially going back to our opening conversation about Alexa, when you tell her to buy paper towels, it'll go through your search history, your purchase history, and find out which ones you purchased in the past and automatically reorder those. If you don't have items that you've purchased in the past, it'll then give you the Amazon brand first.
I didn't know that. Smart marketing.
So have you ever ordered batteries from them?
Yeah. Okay,
so find like a consumable product, like pins or like has an Amazon brand and test it out.
I'm gonna do
like
that.
Something like really not.
I didn't realize
expensive.
that. That's pretty smart on their part.
I mean, you got all the Amazon brand items, right?
Yeah.
And so why not push those products?
Yep.
Then I always ask, okay, well if that's the case, what about a non-Amazon product I've never bought before? Who are you pushing?
Good point.
And who's paying you to push
so I can kind of help.
Who's paying you to push it?
I can kind of help you on that one. So we also sell some products on Amazon, the PPE side. It was kind of one of those situations of, hey, we've got all this stock. Why not? So we list some things on there. And
which is not easy to get in Amazon, by the way.
It is not. And it is a process. And it's a constantly evolving fluid process. And it's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Amazon is expensive. People think that, you're selling on Amazon, you're making a killing. No, Amazon makes a killing. They take a very hefty fee, and then you have to pay additional money to get part of that buy button. So the way it works is, say this koozie's on there, right? Mm. And you also have a koozie, and it looks very similar to this, not name brand. You will go in and you can sell off of that link on Amazon. So that buyer has that page set up. You can go in and sell a like kind product off of that page. So when somebody comes in to buy that item, if you have enough stock in it, it'll send you a portion of that buy. So say 10,000 people try to buy that koozie.
Okay.
It'll send you 1% of that buy. 1% of the people of the 10,000 trying to buy will come to you. So you'll get that order for those koozies and you'll fill it.
Even though they're not the same.
Underneath this person's thing. Yep.
So if it's, for example,
it has to be a similar product though. It can't just be something off the wall.
But like these koozies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say there was just one-sided. And so I sold this side with the Patty G Show, and then you sold the other side with Southern Marsh. But it's the same color pattern, same everything.
So if it's specific and it says Patty G Show, mine would have to say Patty G Show.
Got it.
But if it's just...
So you're selling blanks.
Yeah. Say we're selling a blank koozie and there's no logo or anything on it. Mm-hmm. If I'm selling that same product, I can sell it off of that person's sales page.
Wow.
And I can get a portion of that buy. And now, depending on the stock you have and the reviews that you get and how long you've been selling on there and the quality of your product and the price and how much you're willing to pay for sponsor to get on there, it'll give you a portion of it. So we do really well with it. We probably get 100 orders a day on there. Some days are larger than others. It wasn't always like that. It was very, very different at times, but it's the last few months have kind of kicked off. But we get that a lot. And then sometimes we'll get an email, hey, you can't sell a product on my page anymore. You can't do this. And so we have to quit and move to a different thing. But we've got our own page and stuff to sell now. But at the beginning, it's the easiest way to get in and start selling products is to mimic and go off the back of somebody else.
So the seller has the ability to reject?
They can. So say it might be a blank koozie, but say it's XYZ company. And unless you can show proof that you bought this XYZ company koozie or you have some sort of deal with them, then they can tell you, no, you can't sell your product on our page.
Got it.
But a lot of them don't care. I would say probably 8 out of 10 don't care. As long as you're fulfilling it and getting that order to the customer and you don't have a bad review and everything's shipped at the right time, then most of them don't care.
So it only happens when ABC Co. doesn't have enough inventory?
Correct.
Okay, so if ABC Co. has 9,000, then XYZ could come and pick up the other 1,000.
That's right.
Okay, got it. I thought it was just randomly assigning them based on...
Sometimes it can be.
Really?
So even if the main company that has that page has stock, if the orders are coming in fast and you're paying enough on the backside, you can get a piece of that buy. So we've gotten up to 15% of the buy before on somebody else's product, somebody else's page,
of how rapidly they were
with
getting
the
orders.
same product. But because orders are coming in so fast and we're filling them and we're not having any issue and we're updating our Amazon backside consistently, then we'll get a portion of it.
So what does your team look like that manages the Amazon piece?
It's just 2 of us that do it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's small scale. Like I said, just a couple 100 orders and it's quick and easy to fill. But we fulfill all of the shipping side. We're FBM. We don't do the FBA side. We handle all of the logistics because we're already handling logistics at the warehouse anyway. So it's easier that way for us.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got somebody that I work with where they're the complete opposite, where they're literally everything is FBA.
Yep.
And even on their website, it's still all FBA.
Yeah.
And so fulfilled by Amazon, for those that may not know what FBA means. And I'm like, this is like, even your back end website, like you don't do, they're like, no. Like we developed the product, we got the mold, and then we have it made overseas and it's shipped in and it goes straight to an Amazon warehouse. Yep. And then it's all FBA from there, even our website.
That's exactly right. So the difference between the two is with FBA, you pay for space in their warehouse. So you pay for shelf space, just like you would say you had a frozen meal that was going into a freezer at a grocery store. Mm-hmm. You pay for shelf space in that grocery store. They're not just carrying your product.
Well, it's taking up
same exact thing with Amazon.
Moving,
Yep. So you're going to pay for whatever size space you're taking up in there, regardless if your product sells or not. So that's the difference there. But for us, I mean, it just makes sense to fulfill it ourselves.
I mean, you've got, number one, you have a need for it on your construction side, which we'll get to in a second. And number two, you're already doing it for a bunch of other customers. Right. So you've got, if you weren't, I see where it would make more sense to be more heavy FBA, but I mean, you've got a whole team that you're basically a logistics company at that point.
Agreed. And I think it would make sense if we just had one product and like a lot of people do where they would direct ship there and do that like you're talking about. One product makes a lot more sense to have FBA, especially if it's smaller, it doesn't take up a ton of space. But you could send a whole box with, say, glove clips in it. And this is something we've talked about. Sending a huge box with 10,000 glove clips in it. Put that in there, do that one product FBA because it just takes that piece out of our hands. But what we do a lot of larger quantity type stuff. So it's whole box quantity. Every now and then we'll break a box, but it's whole box quantity. With Amazon, it's a little different. So we have to break boxes and we keep a separate supply for the Amazon side now just to fulfill that. But it's done well for us.
So when you've got your total inventory catalog in front of us, how many SKUs are we looking at?
So initially when we started, we were like, look, we're going to do 10 products.
Okay.
We're going to be the best at these 10 products. These are the most used products. We're going to be the best at it.
That's an achievable number. What are we at now?
Somewhere around 100.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we 10x that.
What?
I would love to get back down to 10 products.
100?
Yeah, maybe more. They grows every day.
Dude,
the needs grow every day. So we adapt and we add new things. I've had customers come to me, hey, look, we're setting up on this job. I'm in Port Sulphur, for instance. I'm in Port Sulphur. We're doing this big project down here. I need refrigerators.
Refrigerators.
Yeah, I've had some off the wall stuff. Refrigerators, microwaves. They're setting up a break room. Cool.
Okay.
Load up a trailer full of refrigerators, head down there. It's not a SKU that we keep. It's not something we offer a lot, but for relationships and different customers, yeah, I'll load up a refrigerator and bring it to you.
But like, are you going in and purchasing this?
Yes.
From like a Home Depot, and you just said that. So now you're more logistics at that point than actually. Okay.
Yep.
I'm thinking like you're like, all right, give me like 6 months and I'll develop.
Let me build you a refrigerator.
Let me build you a refrigerator. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. You're just like, all right, yeah, we've got connections.
Yeah,
we
get
this company
some
made
weird
earplugs for us. They can make fridges. That's fine.
Yep.
It's no big deal.
As far as SKUs that we carry day in and day out, I'd say it's probably close to 100. And with that includes multiple sizes of things. So if you were to cut that out and just say one size of every glove that we have, you're probably around 35, 40 products.
And that makes sense. You got small, medium, large.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, and the crazy piece is we're like, okay, we'll do small, medium, large, extra large. And then we started getting more requests for 2X. So let's add 2X gloves. And then on the suits, we're like, okay, we'll do medium, large, extra large. They run a little big. We're all the way up to 7X on some of these suits now. Like I don't know what they do with these things, but it's a big suit.
Yeah.
We can all get in it. It's big.
So in high school and college, I had a lifestyle apparel company.
Okay.
So I would sell t-shirts and I would have my own designs. We designed them and we would print them and all that stuff. And I would go around to trade shows and I could tell you what parts of Louisiana you're going to sell the most sizes in based on where we're at. I can tell you this city, you're going to have a lot of XLs. This one, you're going to have a lot of larges. This one, you're going to have a lot of 2X and 3XLs. And it's like, I know based on the trade shows we went to what to stock up.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's all demographic based because there's just, it just is. There's
you did
just
your market
a size
research
that people are in certain towns and that's what they're going to end up buying, you know?
Yep.
Then if you go to a melting pot and it's like, yeah, we got to stock up on everything. But no, I think look, when the demand's there, you make them. You know? I
agree with you. And it's funny you mentioned the merchandising thing like that. Way back when, this was probably 8 years ago, my partner in United Supply on the PPE side now, he and I started making hats. So we feel like we kind of pioneered that leather patch hat. So we got into that super early on.
That's a bold statement right there.
We got into it super early on. I would say probably at least 8 to 10 years ago.
Okay.
So it was way back.
All right.
To the point to where we actually went to and sat down with Lee Benoit from, what's the place right there on Perkins? Bowie. Sat down with Lee at Bowie and showed him the product. He's like, I love it. Don't have anything like this in the store. Let's carry it. So we ended up selling directly to them, and we didn't sell a ton of hats, but we had consistent orders. I'd say every week we were selling maybe 100 hats.
That's not bad.
No, we were doing okay with it.
Oh my gosh, that's not bad.
It was to the point to where we were up all night, almost every night, making these hats and we were doing them all ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. So we sourced the patches. They came in and we didn't know how to sew. So we were just like fabric gluing them on. It wasn't it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best.
So y'all just got these patches without the actual stitching going through the outer side?
It looked like stitching on the outside.
No, you did not.
The dots there. It looked really good. The hat looked great, right? It was a good patch on there. It looked nice, but it was not stitched. It looked and gave the image that it was stitched, but it was very much glued on. And man, they sold like hotcakes. It was cool, but gluing, have you ever glued a patch onto a hat?
I can honestly say I've never glued a patch.
It took a lot of time. So we were like, look, this I don't feel like this is the business for us. You know, let's
gluing
move away
patches
from
is
this.
probably not a good business to be in. If you're doing 100 a week, man.
It was a lot. Yeah. It was fun though. We had a good time creating the logos and doing all that. But we ended up doing that for, I don't know, 8 months maybe. Maybe a year, close to a year.
What?
We ended up starting like this little outdoor channel where we were it didn't go anywhere. But this little outdoor channel where we would film ourselves hunting and all this stuff. We went on some cool hunts, and we got some really cool footage, but it wasn't a thing that we were good at or that really took off. It was more of a project, I guess, than anything else. But we had a lot of fun doing it.
So here, we'll handle the filming on the media side with our PB&J company, and we'll go back hunting. And we'll
I'm
kick
down
it back
for that.
up. Yeah, we'll kick it back up. We'll handle all the filming and media side of things.
I think we're in a different place now where we can go on some much better quality hunts. So yeah, I'm here for it.
I'm here for it. I'm gonna wiggle my way into this.
Yeah,
some
I
kind
got
of
you.
way.
I got you.
So you've got this whole other bit that you do on the construction side.
Yes. So that was something that kind of grew organically and started organically. So way back when, I had a guy that worked for me in Ohio. I spent a lot of time in a little town called Scio, Ohio.
Ohio.
Yep.
Okay.
I would fly into Canton and I would stay in New Philadelphia. And that was the closest hotel. It was probably a 35-minute drive to Scio. It was some fracking sites that was happening there for momentum. So we did all that. Had a guy come in, and he owns a painting company. His name's Jack Malis, and he's out of Ohio. He reached out to me one day. We had a great relationship from doing that, but he reached out to me one day a few years ago. He was like, hey man, my company's growing really fast. I get a lot of insulation and scaffolding, and I'm giving it to these other guys, and they're messing up my schedule. I can't do it. I know you're the best in it. Let's do it. And I say that humbly. I'm not the best in it, but I do understand it very well. So I was like, man, let's do it. Like, let's partner on it and do it. So that's kind of how that grew. And that's another one that's doubled every year since we've had it. So it's been a blessing. It's been good. We don't do anything down here yet. Everything's with TC Energy, Enbridge, Williams up north. So we're in the cold weather. So
how do you manage a company many, many states away when you're not there?
It's fairly easy, actually. So that one's more of a logistics side for me. So the work comes in. I work with his group. He's got a staff of 35 in Youngstown, Ohio. I work with his group from down here. I fly up there a few times a year, and we kind of just go through the projects that are coming up and put numbers to them and budgets to them. And yeah, I've got another guy that used to work for me way back when on the insulation side. He kind of comes in and helps manage the projects. He loves to travel. He's got the guys, and we get them done. We haven't missed a deadline. We put good numbers out there, and it's paid off for us. Been having some conversations with BASF and Geismar, and I think we're going to go in there this month and be our first project in Louisiana, start doing some freeze protection for them. So pretty excited about that.
I mean, you should probably be doing that like right now.
That's what I told him. So last year they had a freeze and the plant was down for like a month. So that kind of spurred this piece. And he was like, man, we're looking at like the 20th of January, whatnot, to come in and get going. I was like, dude, I think you're going to need it before then. But, that's, you guys set the schedule. So, yeah, I think they need it right now. It's fixing to get really cold.
I was about to say, when this airs, we will be potentially under snow.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how that goes. Man, what a week this is. Got the inauguration today, MLK Day today, got the national championship tonight. Full day.
I know. And then you got snow tomorrow. And like, you've already got what started off as supposed to be a 3-day weekend with, the federal holiday and everything has now turned into a 4-day weekend. Has now turned into a 5-day weekend. At this point, is anybody going to come in on Thursday or Friday?
I think it depends on what the weather does. So if it doesn't go past 40 for more than a couple hours, nobody's coming in Thursday.
And then it's Friday at that point. I mean, why go in?
Why?
You've had 4 days not in the office. Why begin?
Who wants to work on a Friday?
Why start Friday?
So, I agree.
So then it just
start
comes
fresh
into
the following week. You're good. Everybody's good and refreshed at that point. You're thawed out.
We're thawed out. We're going to look back at it and be like, all right, it's 2025. How did January go? We worked 10 days.
Best New Year ever.
It's the best way to start 2025. We worked 10 business days in January.
Yes.
What happened to the rest? Well, in Louisiana, we don't know how to deal with snow.
No.
We don't know how to deal with ice.
We don't know how to deal with the thought of snow. I'm telling you, the kids' school will close if they even think it's going to get down to freezing. It'll close.
100%.
It'll be 55 that day and sunny. School's closed.
Right. So normally I'm never one to reschedule due to weather, but we had to move the schedule around because I'm like, okay, I've got an out of town guest coming in. Like, they're coming in from Metairie. Like, so we don't know how to drive.
That's risky.
and coming across
That's bridges.
the bridges they got to do to get here. We all know, we see the signs, bridge ice is before roadway,
Yep.
So like we all see it. And in Louisiana, nobody knows how to drive, even when it's raining to begin with.
You're not
and
wrong.
we live in a bayou. And then when you add ice to it, now it's frozen rain, they freak out and
It's
they
a whole
lose
nother
their
level at that
It's
point.
a whole nother level. I think I saw somebody in news press today, and they're like, what's the game plan for getting rid of the ice and preparing the roads? Like, we're going to wait for it to warm up.
I've been seeing memes of dumping glitter and dumping Tonys on the road.
Right. Like, come on. Like, what about all the salt that we use to purge crawfish? We can get more salt. Like, let's just go ahead and do it.
Well, sometimes we get preemptive. We'll go throw sand on a bridge or something and help it out. But yeah, no, we are not prepared for this.
No, and like
Not prepared for a few days of this.
we're prepared for hours in a day below freezing
We're
temperatures.
prepared for the thought of this. We're not prepared for this at all.
No. So it'll be interesting to see what unfolds in the next few days.
I think the governor declared a state of emergency yesterday or 2 days ago on this. So we're way out in front of it. We already know it's going to be bad for us. It's not looking great.
And then in typical Louisiana fashion, it's probably going to spin around. It's going to be 75 degrees.
It's going to be beautiful. Beautiful
We're
weather.
gonna
Yeah. Best day ever.
ever.
I've got dinner plans with some friends and business colleagues and stuff tomorrow night, and they keep calling me. They've called me twice today. So we're canceling for sure, right? I'm like, nope, let's let it ride. We're in Louisiana. You never know what's going to happen to you. They might say it's snowing, but we'll see. We'll make a judgment call tomorrow around lunchtime. If it's not snowing its butt off, then maybe we'll go.
That's when you should have told them, no, see, what actually happened, we're not canceling for sure. I just went into the snowmobile business.
Yeah. By the way,
I now own a fleet of snowmobiles. I'm ready for a day of business.
We're ready.
So we'll come pick you up on the
Side note,
snowmobile.
I'm not great at driving a snowmobile. My wife can attest to that. We were in Yellowstone not too long after we first started dating, and the only way to get to the cabin was by snowmobile. Beautiful place in the wintertime, amazing snow. We went in town. I'm trying to show off. I'm riding around on the snowmobile, and I start trying to cut a donut with her on it, and I flip it, and it lands on both of us. And she still hasn't let me live that down. So yeah, I'm not the best at snowmobiles. Enjoy riding them.
Did she have a concussion?
She didn't.
She married you, so I'm just
That's true.
I'm
That's
just
true.
curious. Did you concuss her into the marriage?
I might need to check on that. That's a good point. I need to go get her head checked.
Review the medical details. Like at that, did you lift the snowmobile off of her?
I did.
So
I was like, hey, I took the brunt of this.
It's a savior complex.
I
That's
took the
all it
brunt
is.
of this.
She's like, you saved me now. That's it.
So
I'm
strong.
indebted. I'm indebted to you for my life now
Did you
because
see
you
what he
saved me. Meanwhile, you were the reason I was in this position in the first place.
It was not wow, he's so strong. Did you see what he did? It was, oh my, did you see what he did? He flipped the snowmobile.
Yeah, he just flipped the snowmobile on top of me. Did you see that?
It landed on me anyways. It was, you're good.
You're like arms hanging off, and she's like, "It landed on me! Like, how dare you?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, this
got one broken rib. What do you have?" We joke about that all the time. One of us will be like, "Oh, I'm so tired today," or "Oh, I'm not feeling good." It's always, "Well, I'm tired too," or "I'm not feeling good either." Well, somebody's always got to be a little bit worse than the other one. So,
of course.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Hey, I had a rib that was injured. You went out of this unscathed, so yeah, I'm the victim.
That's marriage advice, 101, right? Everything's always the competition. It's like, you never, or you don't want to get in the middle of it because you're worried about what the answer is going to be. So then you're just like, you're going about your day. You could have like broken your ankle or whatever. And then somehow if you bring up whatever your ailment is, it's like, oh, no. Just wait a minute.
I've been having a hurt ankle for a week. Yeah. I haven't said a word about it. It's so bad.
I was just going to watch this and be like, I had 2 ankles hurt, okay?
2, and I'm still walking around taking care of the kid.
You have no excuse. Get back out there.
Yeah. It's so true, though. I'm guilty of it. I know I am. She starts saying something. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm coming. I've already got the response loaded. It's ready.
She starts saying something like, okay, great. Let me just like really quickly just snap my elbow out of socket. Okay, you didn't see what
I know you heard that.
Yeah, I know you heard that. Your little hand cramp is nothing compared to this broken ankle.
It's true, though. It really is true. It's an unspoken competition all the time. She usually gets the better of me, though. She's a pretty awesome person.
That's always the better victor, right?
Absolutely. There. She's so much smarter than I am too. It's embarrassing at times for me.
I just say my wife's a civil engineer. I'm like, she's the brains of the family.
Yeah.
I just show up.
I didn't go to college. She's very educated, 4.0, whole 9 yards. She's got it. I don't mess with her when it comes to that. If she says something's one way and I argue my point that it's another, it's usually her way. And I'm usually wrong. And she loves to prove it. She's like, you sure you want to go down this road? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm pretty sure I don't want to go down this road.
Yeah, that happens a lot for me. Mostly she wins every time on my arrival or departure from places, because she knows that I'm just gonna talk to somebody, or I'm just not gonna abide by whatever time. If I'm like, oh, I gotta leave in 5 minutes, like, it's never gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
And so every time she'll like have preemptive, I think she sets them to delivery, and she'll like pre-type the text at the time that I say I'm gonna leave, and just be like, man, my back's just killing me from being right and carrying this family all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, it's fair.
Oh yeah,
That's fair.
I can relate completely.
Or I'll leave like 5 to 6 minutes after I told her I was going to leave. I was like, I got under 10 this time. I was under 10 minutes. I'm
Winning.
improving. Or if I like the off chance that I know I'm going to be early, I just won't say a word.
Yeah.
I'll just like
Just
show
look
up
at her.
early and be like, she'd be like, oh great, you're on time.
Where you been?
Yeah. Where you're not early. It's like, where have you been? I'm like, okay, whatever. All right.
My issue when we'll be driving around and I'll be on the phone, I have no idea where I'm going anymore. If I'm on the phone driving, I'll just head somewhere. She's like, where are you going? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, where do you think you're going? I don't know. I'm just driving. She's like, okay, well, where do you think you would have ended up if I wouldn't have stopped you? Where are you going? I'm just driving. Driving, talking. I don't have any idea.
How far does Airline Highway go?
It's crazy. I don't understand that with me. I get on the phone, start talking, and we'll be heading. I know we're going one place. Like say we're going to dinner, and I got to go left at this light. I'm on the phone. We're headed right. She's like, "What? Yo, whoa, wrong lane." I'm like, "Oh yeah, well, okay, sorry." I'm back. I got to go.
Yeah. Hang on, let me call you when I get to where I'm going.
Yeah, I got to go.
No, I get that. It's like navigating the roads are tough.
They are.
Okay, especially when you're on the phone.
That's
And you're too that's just becomes too much at that point.
It does. It's too much.
So before we get you out here, because I feel like we could just keep on going for hours, we have a set list of questions we ask every guest.
Okay.
First one is, what is something you did as a kid you wish you could still do today?
Ooh, I think probably play sports, play football. I loved it. It was a huge part of who I was growing up. Ever since I was 5, it was all about it. So yeah, I think maybe go back and play ball one more time.
I mean, it's real tough with that hurt ankle,
Dude, all the ailments. Yeah.
Make it real tough to keep getting out of the field.
That's right.
So you have led an extraordinary career thus far, and you've done everything from having a pressure washing business to doing in robotics to doing fresh healthy food to safety PPE to construction. What are like 3 lessons you have gathered throughout that time?
Not every deal is a good deal. Just because something looks like it's advantageous or looks right doesn't mean that it is. Do a tremendous amount of research, do a tremendous amount of vetting, and make sure that everything is legit, because I've been burned on partnerships and businesses before. So yeah, I think that's something that's huge. Another piece is it just doesn't happen overnight. Everything we've been fortunate and had some success fairly early on, but most businesses don't make it past the first couple of years. So that's something that we're proud of, is that we're making it past those years. So I think just patience is huge there. Another piece is make sure that you spend time on the things that matter. So business aside, business can really consume you and take a tremendous amount of your time and effort, but be intent with your time with your family and your kids. Don't be super obsessed or super reliant on hitting this goal that you have with business and different things, because the more you pour into your family, into your kids, into your wife, the more that support system helps you accomplish the goal. So you might try to be making this foundation and getting to a point to where you're set up and good. But if you do it without your significant other, or if you do it without that family aspect there, then you're really just creating a foundation that's meant to fail. So bring them in, build that foundation together, and do it together, and you'll find out that it goes a lot further and it's a lot stronger. So yeah, I think those are 3 things for sure.
Yeah, all very true things for sure. What is something you love about Baton Rouge?
Oh, the people. So I'm getting plugged into so many different people. I've had the opportunity here recently to spend a lot of time with some really great, talented people and kind of get plugged into their groups. And man, I'm just enjoying it. Something we talked about in the past, you and I, is Baton Rouge is one of those towns that's so big yet so small. You do something good, it's a ripple effect. You do something bad, it's a ripple effect. So I love the fact that Baton Rouge is Baton Rouge. There's no other way to describe it except for it's just uniquely Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. It's the best little big town there is.
Absolutely.
So for the final question, what can I do to help you?
I think I've enjoyed getting to know you and spending time with you, and looking forward to kind of growing alongside of you and watching you grow. I'm really impressed with you and your story, and to find out your age was really cool for me too. I was a little taken aback by that. So I'm excited to watch you progress and kind of be there to support you and cheerlead you on as well. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
Really
one good way to do that is re-kickstart this hunting video thing.
I'm ready for it. Yeah, no, let's do it.
Like, I think I can see Jay now loving like being in the blind, being out there with us, and take part in the hunting process and everything. I think we can get some really good content.
I know we could. And I've got a great idea for it, and we'll talk about it later.
Ooh. See, I'm coming fresh off of a hunt, so I'm like, got all this energy in this blood.
Though. We went last night, and it was 27 degrees and very cold. Jay would not have liked it.
I don't know. We got enough. We got enough peanut butter jelly swag. We could put him in. We could definitely make sure he's good and warm. I think
Bundle
we could definitely
be there.
Absolutely. That's the best part though. The cold weather drives out everything, man. It's like it's South Louisiana. You got to agree.
I agree. I think it would be a great intro for you. Get a good hunt. You shooting a couple deer or something. Mm-hmm. Maybe shooting some ducks. Getting that going. Good intro for you.
Oh yeah. It's like just intro into the Patty G show and be like have the duck flying down and then like boom, explosion, and into the show we go.
Yeah. I think you could do one in a duck blind.
Do an episode
in a entire show in a duck blind. Why not?
All right, we got some show prep to do here, guys and gals listening in. So thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I'm excited for what we got bubbling in the works, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Good deal. So thank you, everybody else, for listening or watching, whatever platform you're consuming us on. Great episode in the works. I'm very curious as to what's going to happen when the show airs in regards to Louisiana weather. So let us know how you fared throughout this Arctic blast we're going to be experiencing. And if you're listening to this far down the road, look back and see what kind of weather we had or didn't have. Anyways, y'all, we'll be back here next week with another episode of The Patty G Show. Y'all have a good one.